Benedict, would you mind telling me the story of when you walked in, dressed as Doctor Strange, into that New York comic book store?
We were on the last day of filming, and it was the last day of filming before we did some pickups and odds and sods. We'd been filming, I don't know, 5 months, something like that. And we were in New York for the last week, and it was the very last shot. And Jewett and I were starting, and I know exactly what frame it is in the film as well. This run, and like most of the stuff in New York, we're running for our lives with Mads Mikkelsen chasing us and trying to take those lives through devious means. And everyone nudged me and just went, you are starting this run right next to a comic store. Look what's in the window. There was a strange comic. I thought, this is ridiculous. And I turned to the producers and Scott and I went, that'd be quite fun to go in there, wouldn't it? And I had already sort of done that the day before to escape the sort of ever-present paparazzi. And we went into a cafe in Greenwich to get out of the way of just them catching me off guard, eating something or picking my nose or doing something equally unattractive, and it becoming news. So we went into a cafe, my wife and I, and some friends who were visiting set, and sure enough, 20 paparazzi can't then come in with you. I was in full costume, and there was that wonderful sort of, you know, that scene where Rick Moranis in Ghostbusters runs across Central Park and goes, oh, well, banging on that glass plate window, and everyone sort of cutlery stops and they all turn around to look at him, and he goes, like that, being mauled or whatever happens to him with the dog. And they all go, anyway, as they're saying about John and the Hamptons, we had the most fantastic weekend. They just go back to being New Yorkers. It was exactly like that in the cafe. And in the comic book store, it was even more cool. It was like the owners, or the guys running it, were just like, hey, yeah, how are you doing?
I love that photo of you with the front of the comic.
But yeah, and I said, look, if it doesn't work out, I'd love to come and work here. And they said, only if you stay in accent, which I think might have been a dig. But it was a funny one. I went, okay, what's the coffee like here, you know? And Scott was just going like a kid with his camera. I think it was his footage that they released, that and the security camera footage, which is just bizarre.
Yeah, that made it a bit like late night news, didn't it?
It was odd, yeah. It was like I was going to rob the place. Yeah.
For comics
For
that
comics,
I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm asking everybody this year a series of questions, and hopefully you'll think they're quite fun.
Sure.
This one's a bit tough, but what is your favourite film of all time?
That is tough, and anyone who knows me knows I never ever do favourites. But shall I do some favourites from this year?
Yeah, let's go for that.
I can't do favourites of all time, so it's not going to end up well in your kind of run of things. But I thought Arrival, Manchester by Sea, and Moonlight were just phenomenal. I haven't seen Fences yet. I haven't seen Denial, or I love La La Land, but those three are my top, I think. Of all time, I mean, how do you compare? I don't know.
Citizen Kane.
Bugsy Malone to 9.5, Citizen Kane to Star Wars. I mean, you know, my taste goes all over the place, and great filmmakers, great eras, things that are nostalgic. I can't do it. I'm so sorry.
I learned early in
What
life.
have you got a favourite?
I say Big Lebowski, but in my heart, I know that tomorrow it might be a different one. So
Really?
I
Literally tomorrow you might see a film that...
I might say tomorrow, I'll go, I'm really loving Shaun of the Dead today, and I know it's wrong, but that's how my heart's at.
There's nothing wrong with loving Shaun of the Dead.
Next question is, what is the best memento you've kept throughout your career?
Like a set steal, that kind of thing.
What it's called?
I don't know what they call it, but there we go. We can call it that from now on. I don't know. Work or personal?
Let's go for work.
Let's go for work. Thanks. You saved me there. I would say probably. Oh, this is really hard. I've got a couple of signs. I've got the sign from Stephen Hawking's, from the set of Stephen Hawking when he had an office sign. They gave that to me, and I've also got a couple of other signs I probably shouldn't mention in front of this poster. I've got one address from there, and another one from somewhere else. Yeah.
Signs are neat. I like that.
Yeah, I think so. Right. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, you know, I'm not one of those guys that goes, yeah, definitely. You know, I think I did have a gold coin from Smaug's pile, but I prefer looking at the films and remembering that I was in them. Those are the true mementos. How naff is that? But it's true.
What do fans most often say to you in the street?
Hello. Hello.
That's the perfect answer.
Hello. What do they say? We love Sherlock. When are you going to do a musical? No, I'm joking. I don't know. I mean, honestly, it's oh my God, or that's quite often happens.
I love hello, because that's probably true, honestly.
Hello. Yeah.
It's hello.
It's probably not true, though. The actual truth is probably, or oh my God. One of those.
Sweating.
Intake of breath, if that is a dialogue.
It certainly isn't my profession. I have a.
Can I
favour
have a
to ask
selfie?
you.
Do you mind? I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but would it be all right? I know you're busy. I'm sorry you're with your family, but would it be all right if there's a lot of apology that goes on.
I know you're in a cafe. It's.
I know you're holding a child, getting into a car, you're getting a parking ticket, your wife's ringing you, but could I have a selfie and could you hold my child? That happens. That actually happens. That's not alternative facts.
I see you're doing a really tricky 3-point turn. Could I get a?
Yes.